The Minister for Education remembers the late Marcella Powell, saying she will be missed for her standards. $3 million for Dominica's fishing sector under the joint aid agreement with Japan. And one consultant sees public sector transformation in the region as a very real possibility. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Wyclef Jean. Y'all watching Moppin'. Let's get it, baby.
First up, Dean of Student Affairs and International Services at the Dominica State College is calling for teamwork following the death of Marcella Powell. Beverly LeBlanc stressed the need for teamwork and an appreciation for the gifts within the Ministry of Education, a message she says she has expressed to education officers.
Work as a team, and I think they'll understand what the message when I say work as a team, because this is the Ministry of Education is the department that is responsible for the education of the entire system. Whether you end up becoming a nurse, you have to go through the school. Whether you end up becoming a pilot, you have to go through the school. These are very, very important. And they said tourism is everybody's business, but education is everybody's business.
She described the late permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education as an extremely hard worker, as she reflected on the recent experiences that they shared.
One of the things I remember with Miss Powell, we had a very close relationship. So most times I would go to her office to discuss one thing, and we never discuss one thing. I would always get the opportunity to share with her, to pray with her, to remind her of who she is in God. And so that is one of the things I'm going to miss when I go to the Ministry of Education. Just the fact that we could just go and forget about work, just forget about everything else, and just share life and talk. And then I know when I would leave, and sometimes after the conversation, she would say, Beverly, God sent you there, because I never know what she was going through in one particular day. But somehow the Lord would always send me there, and we would just talk.
The late permanent secretary, who was reportedly at work on Monday, died at Princess Margaret Hospital Tuesday morning. We have no official word yet as to the cause of her death. It is reported that she had been ill for some time. Meantime, the Minister for Education has released a statement saying his ministry would miss the professionalism with which the late acting permanent secretary Marcella Powell carried out her responsibilities. Minister Saint-Jean made this statement just hours after the country learnt of Miss Powell's passing. He said she would be remembered for her leadership and her interest in securing the success of every child.
We express our deepest condolences to her immediate family, relatives, friends, and her staff at the Ministry of Education. We wish to assure her immediate family of the support of the Ministry of Education and of the government as they go through this difficult period of grief and mourning. Miss Marcella Powell was a long-serving, dedicated, and hard-working public servant who served in various ministries during her tenure as a public officer. During her time at the helm of the Ministry of Education, she displayed passion for the well-being of Dominica's children and was committed to the improvement of the education system to ensure that each child succeeds. We will miss her for her capable dedication and leadership, her conscientious approach to the execution of her public duties, and the love and care she showed for all who she interacted with. Our thoughts and prayers are with Miss Powell's family as they go through the grieving process. We wish them hope in the midst of sorrow and comfort in the midst of their pain. We will work closely with them in the days ahead to honor her memory and maintain her legacy.
Dominica is coming under high commendation for initiating the public sector transformation to reflect its vulnerability to events in external markets and susceptibility to environmental changes. Andrea Louis explains.
Dominica is the first in the region to start developing a public sector program which reflects its geographical space and economic situation. Executive Director of the Caribbean Center for Development Administration, CARICAD, says the regional body is looking to take lessons learned from the recent workshop in Dominica.
We don't have to go further than looking at what the IMF report spoke to in terms of Dominica's work on its macroeconomic environment, on its financial reforms that it is doing, and recognizing that Dominica is in an area that is prone for environmental challenges, and as a result of which some sort of insulation is required that can only come from a public sector that takes account of the realities that it faces and then addresses it either through proactive work or improving the effectiveness and efficiency of the public service, so that this private sector-led growth that we want can actually occur and then flourish. Dominica helped to design this intervention. We're looking at it to see what lessons we ourselves can learn from it, so that if we need to replicate it, at least Dominica's leadership in this regard can be continued.
Rose says the lessons learned from the experience in Dominica will be useful to all CARICAD member states.
We are going to go right across our 17 member states with the lessons that we are learning here in Dominica, and of course we are looking forward to the permission being granted by the Commonwealth of Dominica for the use of the information. Here in Dominica, for example, there are many sector plans. And each is proceeding, but there are interlinkages between them which have to be recognized, and as a result of which addressed as we go forward. It's a process of learning. It's a process of learning, and I'm pleased by what I've seen has happened in Dominica in terms of many initiatives which have been undertaken and many things which have been done to date.
Rowe revealed that a report is expected by November month-end on the information coming out of last week's roundtable discussion and other research being undertaken on global public sector transformation programs.
And though the idea of bringing public sector transformation to 17 member states in the region may seem daunting, Associate Consultant with CARICAD is assuring the region that it might not be quite that difficult.
We come from a similar historical background. So for example, when Dr. Honeychurch this morning delivered the keynote address on the historical context of the public service and reform, all of the participants from the different islands remarked on how similar the historic development or path of Dominica were to their own, right? So, but having said that, you're right, there are differences, and the challenge would be to sort of contextualize what we're hearing and to see, okay, what worked in St. Lucia or Barbados or wherever, and how could we translate that success to the Dominica experience, to the Dominica culture, to the Dominica law, norms and customs, and where perhaps we need to challenge some of these norms and customs to achieve a greater level of success in terms of efficiency and effectiveness.
The Associate Consultant also highlighted that this roundtable discussion was coming at a critical time.
The essence of this workshop is about knowledge sharing, experience sharing, learning not just what worked but what didn't work quite so well, and as we say, sort of best practice on a way forward. The essence of public sector transformation is improving levels of service delivery, improving good governance and the way governments operate. And so the more we could learn from each other on this topic, I think it will be of benefit to the people who are governed in the various jurisdictions.
Dr. Bertin is promising that this discussion won't be classified the usual talk shop where no subsequent action is taken.
Certainly it's something that is very urgent in terms of delivering results, because very often people refer to these things as talk shops, right? So we come, we talk, and then nothing happens. But this is actually talking about action, and action that will lead to better results. So CARICAD is committed to implementing some of these reforms. A critical success factor would be the ability to which we could generate sources of funding for the various initiatives. And again, if we package it correctly and persons, donor agencies, for example, friendly governments, see that we kind of know what we're about and have a game plan, which is what we develop in here in the sharing, we are more likely to attract sources of funding that will lead towards implementation.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, we take you to the annual College Recruitment Fair.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Wyclef Jean. Y'all watching Mopping. Let's get it, baby.
Thank you for staying with us. Dominica's fishing sector will soon reap the benefits of a $3 million contribution from the government of Japan. The improvement of the Roseau and Marigot fisheries complexes are part of the joint aid agreement between the governments of Dominica and Japan.
In the case of Roseau, for example, we saw the retrofitting of a brand new ice machine to the tune of well over $1 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. We also saw some other equipment that was provided as part of the project here at the Roseau Fisheries Complex. Similarly, the same thing at Marigot. There are two other significant components of this project. One of them is the purchase of a brand new insulated truck costing well over 150,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars. And that truck has a capacity to carry well over 3,000 pounds, whether it be fish or ice. Significantly as well, last but not least, the project catered for 2 mega fads. These fads were deployed on the east coast of Dominica. And if you ask me what's the total cost of the project, I can tell you it is well over 3 million Eastern Caribbean dollars.
Japan's ambassador to Dominica says his country is well aware of the significance of the fishing industry to the country.
Japan recognizes the importance of the fishery industry to your economy. I am confident that the equipment procured through this grant will help strengthen your fishery sector, contributing to the sustainable economic growth of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Our fishery sector cooperation in the fishery sector has culminated in the Caribbean Fisheries Co-Management Project, better known as CARFICO. Since 2013, Japanese fishing experts have been transferring fishing skills and expertise and sustainable fishery management systems to counterparts in Caribbean island nations, including the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Meantime, the Minister for Fisheries says the relationship between Dominica and Japan continues to grow.
I would like to take this opportunity to recognize another ongoing project being funded by JICA through the Fisheries Co-Management Project, better known as CARFICO. The 5-year project, which commenced in 2013, aims to assist the Fisheries Division and Fisherfolk's Organization to manage the FAD fishing in a collaborative manner known as co-management. I would like to highlight also that early next year, 2 Dominicans are expected to travel to Japan, where they will undergo training in refrigeration, machine maintenance, and troubleshooting.
The Minister for Trade is encouraging fisherfolk to take the next step in developing themselves and their trade. Speaking on behalf of the Prime Minister at a handing over ceremony on Monday, Honorable Ian Douglas said government's ultimate vision is to properly equip fishermen to spend longer hours at sea.
What we need to do now really is to take it to the next level. Like we say, we want to ensure that in every aspect of the fishing industry and the fishing subsector, that we are at the cutting edge of technology. And I believe that the next stage that we perhaps need to look at is to be able to send our fishers out there for days on end. We need to move away from the traditional 6 to 6 kind of fishing. We believe that if our fishers can go out there and spend 2 or 3, 4 days, they have the necessary boats, they have the equipment to ensure that they maximize their returns from that time spent at sea. So 3, 4 days. They need the boats and the equipment to be able to do that. And it is in that direction. That is our vision for the development of the fishing industry.
Minister Douglas also encouraged fisherfolk to position themselves to become more business savvy to get maximum returns from the fishing industry.
You have not only a responsibility to go out and fish, but you have a responsibility to understand the fishing business also, the business of fishing, and set up those cooperatives and set up those institutions that can make you more efficient and more productive. Because better efficiency and more productivity equals more profitability, more monies in your pockets. And that is the message that I want to leave with you today. Understand the business of fishing. I'm not sure if all of the fishermen understand. Some fishermen know how very well to go out and catch fish. They're very good fishermen, but they must translate that into very good businessmen.
Dominica's ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency Felix Gregoire, says the question of free movement within the region has caused many to think that their jobs could be taken away. Speaking at a Labour Division workshop on Monday, Gregoire said some believe that their jobs may be lost to individuals from other member states.
But we are finding out that that does not happen. People doesn't move because they can move. People move because there's a reason to move. And one of the reasons would be a job. If there's a job somewhere else, you'll move to take advantage of that job. But people don't leave their homes and go somewhere else aimlessly. But if you're going to move, then you need to know what is available. So where is the job? How many jobs? What is the job and what are the requirements for the jobs? And that whole exercise is to get the information that we can put in a system so it is available to all nationals so they are aware of opportunities so that they can move to those opportunities wherever they are.
His Excellency explained that currently CARICOM was gathering information to create a system that will inform individuals from different member states of available jobs.
So I'm appealing to our nationals in Dominica to take advantage of that. Do not wait when you are about to move to seek a skills certificate.
He advised Dominicans to apply for their skills certificate as soon as possible in the event that a job opportunity arises in a different CARICOM country. Meanwhile, the Minister for Justice, Honorable Reuben Blackmore, says a labour market information system will allow job seekers to create their personal profile describing their skills, education and other attributes. He says government is daily preoccupied seeking ways and means to address Dominica's unemployment issue.
Those of us from Dominica would be aware, through our national employment program, significant resources are being channeled to empower our people, more so our young people, to mitigate against constraints relating to lack of skills and job training experience. Government is also working through the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Caribbean Examination Council, CXC, to grant Caribbean vocational qualification.
The labour market information system is expected to be significant for qualified young people who are currently seeking jobs.
It will also help persons who are seeking employment in the following ways. One, to make decisions about the future career development by providing information on the needs of the labour market. Two, identify current and future job market opportunities. There will also be, my dear friends, similar benefits for employers, educational agencies, and employment agencies.
And speaking of jobs and education, students from various schools across the island were very much involved at the Dominica State College 11th Annual College Recruitment Fair held on Tuesday. Dean of Student Affairs and International Services, Beverly LeBlanc, said it was critical that students begin to think of higher education at this time.
It's also important for us at the Dominica State College because at the Dominica State College our students complete an associate degree, and when the international colleges come to this fair, it gives us an opportunity to strengthen our articulation agreements with them to make the transfer of their credits easier. Because if we have an agreement with these colleges, which most of those are here, we do have some with most of them, except for two which we are hoping to start working on. Then once our students would have completed the associate degree program here, it makes it easier for them to go. Most of the students, they get 60 transfer credit, which is already 2 years. Not only do they complete their bachelor's degrees faster, but it's also less expensive because they will only have to spend for 2 years for the bachelor's program.
One of the students, Perron Roy, said his colleagues showed keen interest and was impressed with the turnout.
Socializing with people, seeing how the students reacting to the information that they get in, reacting to the books, we're trying to advertise a little advice for the library, let them know that we print, we provide computer service, we have our prices and whatnot, and what books we have available, and so on. They visit the library a lot, study the books, study every day. Just on a Friday afternoon, they'll go home a little bit early because they want to head for home, but otherwise, yeah.
Librarian Sylvia Toussaint had a special display of books which can assist with students' SBAs.
But this collection there, it's our rare collection, our Dominican collection, our West Indian collection, and our Black History collection. Normally, we don't allow them to leave the library, but we're allowing it on a 1-week loan to the students and clients, especially those doing their SBA. So this is the reason why we are highlighting these books, so that they can be aware that we are allowing it for a 1-week loan.
Officer in charge at the UII Open Campus, Kimon Joseph, said her primary objective was to determine some of the career opportunities students were looking forward to.
And to be able to tell them and guide them into what sort of programs that we offer that would be suitable for that particular course that they want to take with their lives. The interaction of the students typically at the college fair is always very good, and that's one of the reasons why we continue to come, because it really gives us an opportunity to meet one-on-one with the students. The UII Open Campus travels to the various schools throughout the year and speaks to the group, but it's always good to be able to have a sit-down with the students as they come through and to be able to have that conversation with them about what they plan to do with their life and how we can help them to achieve those goals.
And that's news. Your sports highlights next.
Kicking off with football, defending league champions Central Cooperative Dubla United sounded an early warning to teams in the second round of the competition when they hammered Petro Caribe Point Michel by 7-1 in the Flow Premier League on Sunday. In other matches played, Exodus Football Club defeated Waukee Rollers 1-0 to go to the top of the points standing with 21 points. Caribbean Cool Harlem United defeated Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers by 4-1. Bath Estate and Middleham United played to a 2-2 draw, and Southeast won by default over RIC Kensborough, who failed to show up. Moving on to regional cricket, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force defeated the Windward Islands Volcanoes by 9 wickets in the opening day-night match of the regional 4-day competition. Scores: Windward Islands batting first scored 142 all out, Devon Smith scoring 86 not out. Trinidad replied with 242 all out. Batting a second time, Windward Islands scored 257 all out. There were half-centuries for Dominicans Tyrone Theophil and Shane Shillingford. Chasing 167 for victory, Trinidad reached 158 for 1. In other matches, defending champions Guyana Jaguars defeated Jamaica Scorpions by 181 runs. Scores: Guyana 298 and 238 for 4 declared, and Jamaica 208 and 147. And Leeward Islands Hurricane and Barbados Pride played to a draw. Scores: Leeward Islands 337 and 164 for 6 wickets declared, and Barbados Pride 237 and 235 for 5 wickets. Further afield, South Africa destroyed Australia by an innings and 80 runs inside 4 days of the second test match played in Hobart. South Africa, winning the toss, invited Australia to bat first. Australia were quickly bowled out for 85 in their first innings. Vernon Philander picking up 5 for 21 and Paul Abbott 3 for 41. Then South Africa in their turn scored 376 all out, with Quinton de Kock scoring 104 and Timber Bawana scoring 76. Then Australia in their second innings were bowled out for 161, Abbott picking up 6 for 77 and Rabada picking up 4 for 34. South Africa leads the series by 2-0. The third test will be played next week Thursday. And wrapping up with rounders, Dubla Almond Stars are through to the semi-finals of the Giant Malt National Rounders League when they defeated South Defenders of Grand Bay on Sunday in the National Rounders League. Batting first, Dubla Almond Stars scored 425 runs for 4 wickets in 40 overs. Shanice Pierre-Louis 115 and Tora Albert 74. Then South Defenders reached 187 for 7, failing to continue the game. The first semi-final match will be played on Sunday, 20th November between Marigot Cooperative Credit Union Stars and Rising Stars of Grand Bay at Pottersville from midday. That's it for sports. Join us next time.
Your weather forecast is next.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I will be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rock Korea. Today, a trough system was a dominant feature affecting weather conditions across Dominica and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, which produced cloudy skies across Dominica and also some showers across Dominica and the rest of the islands of the Eastern Caribbean. The weather tonight is expected to be mostly cloudy with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms, and similar conditions can be expected for tomorrow. Therefore, persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks, you are asked to exercise caution. Let's take a look now at the marine forecast. Sea conditions will be moderate. Waves are expected to peak up to 7 feet, and the second high tide will be at 4:17 p.m. The weather for the next 3 days, well, Wednesday and Thursday, similar conditions can be expected. That is, mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms, and a relative improvement is expected on Friday. Partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies with some scattered showers. The weather for the rest of the Caribbean tomorrow, well, most of the Lesser Antilles can expect mostly cloudy skies with some showers and possible isolated thunderstorms, and that is due to the trough system, while the northern portion can anticipate mostly cloudy skies with some showers. Let's move on now to the international city forecast. Beautiful sunny skies expected for the city of New York, partly cloudy skies for Miami, cloudy skies for London, thunderstorm activity expected for Caracas, and overcast skies for the city of Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:08 a.m. and will set at 5:33 p.m. Please remember we are still in hurricane season. Feel free to visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Thank you.
To end the news, the headlines again. The Minister for Education remembers the late Marcella Powell, saying she will be missed for her standards. $3 million for Dominica's fishing sector under the joint aid agreement with Japan. And one consultant sees public sector transformation in the region as a very real possibility. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris, and to our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.